Well, DACA recipients were surprised today, I'm sure, when the Supreme Court blocked the president's plan to end the DACA program. The ruling claims that the administration failed to provide an adequate reason to justify ending the DACA program. Trump, as expected, blasted the decision in a tweet, saying these horrible and politically charged decisions coming out of the Supreme Court are shotgun blasts into the face of people that are proud to call themselves Republicans or conservatives. We need more justices or we'll lose our Second Amendment and everything else. Vote Trump 2020. Well, joining us now to talk about the decision is the gentleman who was just on, Newsmax host of the Chris Salcedo Show, Mr. Chris Salcedo. Chris, welcome to the show for the first time.
Hey, guys, great to be here.
Yeah, normally it's me that gets to be on with you. So let me give you my take real quick. I think there's the policy and there's the politics. So let's talk about the politics for a second. I think the president, by filing this brief, in this case, got to get credit with the far right of the conservatives and the Republican Party heading into an election. But by having the Supreme Court deal with it, it takes it off the table as an issue going into November. And right now, the poll that came out this morning shows 68% of Trump supporters actually supported DACA. So tell me what you think this ruling means politically speaking for Trump.
Politically speaking, I think you're right in your analysis. I guess he gets to show the country that he tried to right a wrong. And the wrong, of course, was what Chief Justice Roberts gave the nod to, which was rewarding illegal immigration. President gets to say, I tried. And you know what? We need to get another Supreme Court justice to override the Chief Justice, Roberts, because he is siding with the liberals more often than not. So he gets to make the case to the voters, hey, we're almost there. We've almost got a constitutional court back, but because of that Bush appointee, Roberts, we need one more good, solid jurist who remembers that you're supposed to be a constitutional court, not a political court. And I think that Chief Justice Roberts has earned the title, is probably one of the most political justices in recent memory.
Okay, so look, you are a proud Latino. You talk about it on the show. So let me ask you, what does Trump need to do to grow his base going into this election?
The base in the Latino community?
Yeah.
You know, I'm always asked about this when I go out and I speak to Republican groups, speak to conservative groups, and I tell them all to take out a pad and paper because it's really going to be complicated. And they all get ready and they think I'm going to dispense some sort of wisdom that is of the ages. But I say, talk to them. That's all you got to do. When you're in a Republican group or you're in a conservative group, the conservative message, the rule of law, is the reason why so many people came here to this country legally or illegally, is to enjoy the benefits of living in a country where you're able to live free and be prosperous. And the only political party that is making that case is the Republican Party or the conservative movement in the Republican Party. So just talk to them about the issues. There are a lot of folks in the Latino community, millions of them out there, who are just like me, liberty-loving Latinos who value the Constitution, the rule of law, and the United States of America.
I couldn't agree with you more. I spent 6 years at the RNC saying this. If you don't engage with them, they don't understand your values. And everyone keeps saying, well, they should be with us. And until we go out there and engage with them and talk to them about how we support life, conservative principles, strong stance on immigration, then they're not going to know that they have a choice. And so I couldn't agree with you more. We've got to talk to them. We've got to engage with them more. Thank you for being here, and thanks for having me on my show. You're on me on your show.
You betcha. Anytime. You guys are welcome. Thanks.
All right. Hey, who do you got on tap for tomorrow?
Oh, Diamond and Silk. Diamond and Silk coming to the program. I love talking about politics with those ladies because they make it. They keep it. They put it right down there on the ground level where everybody can understand it.
Yeah, they bring it every time.
They know how to fire it up.
That's
well,
right.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you being here. All right, for more on the 2020 election and the Hispanic vote, we turn to the author of The Hispanic Republican, The Shaping of an American Political Identity, From Nixon to Trump. Now we welcome Northwestern University professor and political analyst Geraldo Cadava. Geraldo, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, we're just talking to Chris Salcedo about bolstering the vote here for Hispanics. If you could talk and advise the president today, what are one or two things that you would tell him that would really increase the Hispanic vote?
I would say something similar to Mr. Salcedo, which is continue to engage and take them seriously as political actors. I think the main reason that I wanted to write this book was to show that Latinos have been serious political actors over a long period of time, whereas they've been taken for granted. I think both parties have called them natural Republicans or natural Democrats, and that's just not how I see it. I don't think anyone is naturally anything. I think someone's political identity is a function of their communities, their families, their upbringing, and their own ideas about what's right and what's just in the world. So I think that it's important to me to show Latino political actors as serious political actors, and they have been for a long period of time.
You know, another thing that I think is really interesting is people like to be very monolithic with the Hispanic vote. And when you really break it down, you've got Cubans, you've got Mexicans, you've got Central American Hispanics. How is there an overarching theme, or do you have to treat each community in a little different way?
I think both go on simultaneously. I think campaigns have reached out to individual national groups, especially on the issues that they care about most. Take it statehood for Puerto Rico, border and immigration issues, and trade with Mexico for Mexican Americans, anti-Castro, anti-communism for Cubans. But I think that at the same time, and increasingly so, I think campaigns have been trying to reach out to Hispanics as a national pan-ethnic community. I think both happen at the same time.
Do you think that immigration is the threshold issue, or is it economic?
I don't know that those things are mutually exclusive. I mean, I think it is true that polls show, or surveys show over and over, that Latinos care about many different things. Immigration ranks somewhere in the top 5 behind the economy, jobs, healthcare, education. But I don't think that you can approach them separately. I think you have to kind of have a whole range of issues that appeals to Latinos simultaneously.
You know, Geraldo, we have a minute left, but when we talk about the minority group right now, obviously the Black community is asking for justice and reform. Do you think that the Latino community has that same sentiment at all?
Sure. Yeah. No, I think that, you know, over the past few months, I think our politics have been shaken to the core in a lot of ways. I think that President Trump heading into 2020 and his Hispanic supporters have felt reasonably confident about his reelection chances. But I think both the coronavirus and the recent weeks of protest have shaken things up in ways that I'm not entirely sure are politically calculable for the time being. I think that Latinos for the next few months are going to be watching. I think that historically, over the past 50 years, Republican candidates have won somewhere between 1/4 and 1/3 of the Latino vote. That could happen again, but I wouldn't take it for granted. I think that they'll be watching. I think they'll be listening to which candidate most represents their values, which candidate demonstrates the most respect and engagement with their communities, and we'll see what happens in November.
Well, thank you, and congratulations on the book.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, coming up, how can we prevent the heartbreaking tragedy of suicide among veterans? President Trump has now announced a nationwide prevention plan. And up next, the spouse of one of those veterans joins us to talk about her story.